Greg from Accounts Payable was dragged out of our office in handcuffs last Thursday. And you're probably thinking embezzlement or fraud or maybe a fight at happy hour? Nope. Greg got arrested because he thought he was Batman. Let me know in the comments if you've ever worked with someone who lived a double life like this. I'd love to hear your story. Okay, so Greg's been with the company 6 years. He's the kind of guy who always wore scuffed black dress shoes and a slightly too tight tie with a clip art style eagle pin on it. Nice enough guy, but definitely odd. Like sometimes he'd show up with a black eye and say he bumped into a filing cabinet. Other times he'd disappear for 3-hour lunches, come back sweaty, with little bits of duct tape stuck to his sleeves. People made jokes. Oh, Greg probably moonlights as a cage fighter. Or maybe Greg's a spy. Nobody actually thought Greg was out there at night in body armor made from camping pads and hockey gear, prowling the streets on a dirt bike. Until last week. That morning started normal enough. Greg came in with a big thermos of coffee and a bandage on his knuckles. I remember asking what happened, and he smiled kind of nervously and said, "Neighborhood watch got a little rowdy last night. Then, around 10:30, our office got loud." If you've ever worked in one of those open-plan offices, you know how everyone's head pops up at the same time when something weird happens. And what happened was this. 3 uniformed cops walked in. They walked straight past reception, right toward accounting, and one of them said, "Gregory Miller, we need to speak to you outside." He froze. He looked like a deer in headlights. And then, I kid you not, he ran. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more office drama every day. Yep, Greg from Accounts Payable bolted through the cubicles and tried to make it to the stairwell. The entire office gasped. Cindy from payroll actually spilled her iced coffee all over her keyboard. The cops caught up to him before he even made it past the water cooler. One of them grabbed his arm, another one shouted something about resisting arrest. But the most shocking part was when his jacket fell open, and everyone saw what he was wearing underneath. Kevlar vest, utility belt, what looked like homemade metal forearm guards, and taped to his leg was a flashlight painted black to look like a baton. The whole office went silent, except for one guy in the back who whispered, "Holy shit, he is Batman." The cops dragged him out, and as they passed by the reception desk, we heard one of them say, "Greg Miller, you are under arrest for obstruction of justice, assault, and impersonating law enforcement." Apparently, Greg had been patrolling the streets at night for months under the name The Black Hawk. I learned later that he'd gotten caught the night before chasing a shoplifter out of a convenience store, tackled him in the parking lot, and then handcuffed the guy to a bike rack. Except the shoplifter was actually an undercover cop.
Yeah.
After he was hauled off, HR sent out one of those awkward corporate emails. Something about respecting the privacy of our colleagues and letting the legal process unfold. But everyone in the office was already watching the local news clip on their phones before lunch. They even showed his mugshot. Greg, still in his duct-taped vest and hockey pads, looking completely unrepentant. And now, every time I walk by his empty desk, I half expect to see a little bat signal light blinking. You can hear more stories like this on the Office Drama Daily YouTube channel.